Hello there, Capricorn. Thank you for stopping by for your weekly tarot forecast for the week of May 25th through the 31st. I am using the Russian Tarot of St. Petersburg once again. And so what we have showing up for you, Capricorns, is we have the Empress in reverse on Monday. Empress in reverse is just telling me that you are giving some of your power away unnecessarily. A lot of times this happens in relationships. When we're in relationship with someone, we let them kind of lead the way or make some decisions that normally we would make for ourselves. And we just kind of follow along because, you know, we want them to be happy and we want them to be happy with us. And we think that, you know, this is the way to make that happen. And so we kind of quit being ourselves. We give away some of our power when we quit being ourselves. And so this is something just to be aware of on Monday and notice if you start to see this happening. And this doesn't just happen in romantic relationships. This also happens in work relationships. If you've got a new boss coming in, you know, you want to really please that new boss. And so you'll just let them do whatever. And it really denies the authenticity of who you really are and what you can really bring to the table for that business. So once again, it's just something to be aware of and kind of, you know, also be aware of where your boundaries are. How much decision making for yourself do you want to give to another person who may or may not have your best interests at heart and who may or may not know what your best interests actually are to start with. Okay, so that's Monday. So Capricorn, what we have coming up on Tuesday is we have the Three of Coins in reverse. Three of Coins in reverse. What is that saying to me? It seems to me like on Tuesday you're going to be very much locked into whatever it is that you're doing. And I feel like that's not even necessarily at work. This has, for most of you, this is going to have to do with personal time. Now for some of you it will have to do with work, but for most of you, we're talking about personal time, and it feels like you may have had some plans of doing something really fun that had you very excited on Tuesday after work and or during your off time, and then those plans just kind of got turned on their head and you find yourself doing something you really hadn't thought you would that seems to be kind of tedious and not very creative, and you are just so glad when it's over. All right, so and for some of you, I feel like this has to do with family, like there's some kind of mild crisis in the family where you have to be there to help with that. What else? It doesn't feel like anything major or earth-shattering or anything that you have to worry about any relatives or anything like that, but just something just very temporary that you're just kind of filling in and helping out. But and that's not for all of you Capricorns, but yeah. What is for most of you Capricorns is going to be the idea that you had some plans to have some fun, and those plans kind of get turned on their ear on Tuesday. So once again, this is a general reading, so the best way to get a reading about your specific energy is obviously to book a private reading, and I love to do readings, so if you want to book one with me, woohoo, I would love it. But let's move on right now. So on Wednesday, what we have coming up for you Capricorn is we have the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is one of my least favorite cards. This is one that kind of really speaks to us about how tricky the mind can be, because the mind can play tricks on us. And the Eight of Swords talks about you feeling like you're in a situation that you really don't know how to get out of, like that it doesn't look like there's any good solution whenever you look at the situation. The trick with the Eight of Swords, though, is that the situation is not based on reality at all. You're feeling trapped purely by your own perspective or your own thoughts, but in reality you're just not trapped at all. So this is a good day to really be kind of looking at anything where you're feeling trapped, kind of looking at it from different perspectives to try to figure out, okay, you know, is this something that's in my mind, or is this really the real deal? Because if you can figure out what it is here that's the trap that is set by yourself and no one else, then you can walk away from it without any trouble at all. So that's your Wednesday, Capricorn. And then Thursday, what you have showing up is you have the King of Swords. I feel like for most of you, this is actually going to be somebody that you're interacting with on Thursday. The King of Swords is someone who is very much a logical thinker. They suppress their emotions a lot. Gentleman or male figure, I should say. This is somebody who is going to have some kind of position where he has some responsibility. So this could be a supervisor or a business owner or, you know, anything like that. This could be, you know, somebody who is a preacher at a church, you know, somebody who is respected, who has some authority. So the King of Swords also is somebody who, besides being logical, like I said, he likes to suppress his emotions. And the reason he likes to suppress his emotions is usually there's been some really rough stuff happen to him in his past. And I feel like on Thursday, Capricorn, when this person shows up and you interact with them in your life, whether it's a text message, phone call, face-to-face, whatever, you're going to be interacting with this person at some level. And I feel like for most of you, this is going to be somebody that you've known for a while already, so it's not like a first meeting with this person. And I'm also feeling like something's going to come out about some of the tragedy or the sadness that has been in his life before. And you're going to get a little bit of a clue about why he suppresses emotions, because I don't feel like this person has dealt with the emotions that go along with this earlier happening that he's going to be alluding to whenever you see him on Thursday. So it's just going to give you a greater insight into what makes him the way he is. Okay? So Friday, we have the Queen of Clubs showing up in reverse. This is just telling me on Friday, I feel like you're going to be having a situation where you're going to be trying to do some problem solving. And typically you're pretty good with problem solving. But when the Queen of Clubs in reverse comes out, this is telling me that you're feeling a little bit stumped on this particular problem. And so this is something that you are really kind of trying to mull over within yourself. I feel like you really are hesitant to bring this problem to anyone else. You feel like this is something that you should be able to solve for yourself if you just give yourself enough time to work it out. But what I'm hearing is that Capricorns who find themselves in this situation, you have one or two very close friends that you could bring this to, and they'll be able to help you greatly. And the other thing that I'm hearing is that you know who they are. I'm feeling like this is, whatever this problem is, feels like kind of a sensitive issue for you, and so that's why you don't want to just take it to just anybody. But these can help you. And one friend especially is really good at keeping things quiet, and so you wouldn't have to worry about that friend. And I feel like it's a her. That friend, you know, just telling the whole world about your situation. But definitely you have some friends that can help you with that issue. Okay, so Capricorn, on Saturday, we have the Hierophant in reverse. This is just telling me that you're bucking anything traditional on Saturday. In other words, you're not going to be participating in things that are just because they always have been and this is the way that we've always done them. You're going to be looking at new ways of doing things and new things to do. You're going to be thinking very much outside the box, paying very little attention to the way things used to be done. Excuse me. Let's see. And it feels to me like you're going to be taking some things that have some deep traditions around them, have some very long-standing traditions, and you're going to be really changing them up and putting your own touch on them and kind of losing all of that traditional taste. And it feels like this is going to be more of a social event. This is going to be something where there's a lot of people there, more than just, you know, the handful of close friends, but a lot of people. So this could be even really, this could be a wedding ceremony that you're just making completely out of the box different. This could be like a first communion that is being run completely different. This can be just you handling something that normally is always handled a certain way in a completely different way on Saturday. So there's, you know, an infinite number of ways that this can actually manifest itself in your life, Capricorn. But definitely not doing things just because that's the way that they've always been done. That's the bottom line for what's coming up for you on Saturday. Now, Sunday, Capricorn, what we have is we have the Two of Swords. This just tells me you're going to be making a decision on Sunday, and that this decision is something that you're going to try to make it as fairly as you possibly can. And it's not going to be that hard of a decision. I don't see you really procrastinating on it at all. I do see you kind of thinking it over a little bit and just trying to make sure that you're definitely handling this in the best way possible. For a lot of you, this feels like a parent-kid interaction where you're making decisions having to do with the kids, or one kid, or feels like probably multiple kids, though, for most of you. And then for others of you, well, for most of you, it's a parent-kid thing. I do feel like this decision is going to manifest for almost all of you. For those of you who aren't parents, obviously, it wouldn't be a parent-kid thing. For some of you, it's going to have to do with your pets. I know a lot of people think of their pets as children, but for some of you, yes, it's going to have to do with pets. And for others of you, it's going to have to do with some kind of decision-making around friendships and doing things with friends. But like I said, the majority of this is coming up as parental issues. Okay, so Capricorn, that is your week. For those of you who would like to schedule a private session with me, feel free to check out my website. I'm at amista.info. That's amista.info. Once you're there and you've looked over that site, if you feel like I'm still the best reader for you, go ahead and contact me, and what we'll do is we'll schedule you a session as quickly as possible. And for everybody else, I will see you all here next week. Everyone have a great week. Peace out.